Basically, how to search and access medical literature. That's what we're considering today. Why do we need to search for literatures? It supports evidence-based clinical decisions. That is to tell us that whenever we're making decisions in the medical science, every decision needs to be backed up by research. Every decision needs to be backed up by a body of evidence. The pyramid of evidence actually showed us the quality of research, the strength of research. At the top of that pyramid, you will see the meta-analysis, the randomized control trial. There is hierarchy in research findings. So for instance, you want to upgrade how you attend to patients, the approach you use to care for patients. You can search for meta-analysis and systematic review. You can search for research on that aspect. So that is going to influence your practice. When WHO want to present an upgrade in the way we do things, the way WHO is going to present it is WHO is going to carry out research or review existing research. But before they will do that, they will need to search. They will now base their recommendation on the body of research. And the body of research they normally base their recommendations on are the meta-analysis, randomized control trial, majorly, because these studies have limited bias. So before WHO will come forward and say, oh, now this is how we want to be doing things, they will first of all carry out their own research. So most times they review literatures. It's not the time that they carry out primary research. They start collecting data, give questionnaire. Most times they will just review literatures, what other people have done. They will search for existing research and they will review it, and then they will now present the findings. For example, in management of retained placenta, now, before it used to be manual removal of placenta, but now they use intra-umbilical vein injection of oxytocin in the management of retained placenta, according to the WHO. Why do we have that? We have that because WHO review literatures. They search for literatures on management of retained placenta, and they saw research that showed that, oh, these are better ways to do things. So that is why medical search is very, very important. Yes. So it keeps us updated on the latest treatment. It is essential for research, academic writings, and case study, and it encourages critical thinking and lifelong learning. So these are the reasons why medical literature search is important. And for you to conduct your research, a lot of people have messaged me before. They will tell me that I don't even know how to start my research. This is where to start from. The first thing to do is to actually review literatures, is to search for literatures, first of all, on the topic that you want to consider, because it will help you in your writing. Even if you don't know where to start your research, maybe you have your project that you're writing, your thesis, your dissertation. If you don't know where to start, just open research related to that aspect. You will know where to start. Just open. By the time you open like 20 to 40 research in that aspect, just keep opening the tab. What we are here to do at the end of today is to learn how to search for literatures, so that this is going to help our academic endeavors. I don't like when we nurses, especially, maybe because I'm a nurse, this training is actually open to people from other professions. But I don't like situations whereby nurses do not know how to perform certain things, like which is research. If you really, really want to be in the hands of affairs, we really, really want to stay abreast, we really want to stay on the top, we need to engage ourselves in research, and one of the skills required is how to search for literatures. It's very, very, very important. So this webinar is really, really going to help us. It's going to get us grounded and established. All right, so let me go further. I've talked about why literature search is important. Now, there are two different types of literature search, basically, importantly, or essentially. Let me use the word essentially. We have the systematic approach. The systematic is structured, comprehensive, organized. It has a step-by-step approach. That's the systematic approach. So most times, this is normally being used in systematic reviews and meta-analysis. Systematic review is just a kind of study whereby you synthesize research. Like now, this person has conducted a research on knowledge of cancer among nursing students in Osun State. Another person has conducted knowledge of cancer among nursing students in Delta State. Now, systematic review is the kind of study whereby it will now synthesize all those studies together. It will join all of those studies together, merge all those findings together. Meta-analysis is when you now use mathematics, you use statistics. You use statistics to join all of those research together. That is systematic search approach. we have the traditional search approach. So this one is what most of us are used to, and I'm going to dwell on it to some extent as well. In UK, in Canada, in Australia, they normally conduct systematic reviews when they want to do their own project. But in Nigeria, yeah, most of us, we conduct primary research. Primary research is the research that you do that involve primary data. You know, primary and secondary data. Primary data is when you are the one that is collecting the data, and when secondary data is when you are using existing data. So they conduct more of systematic review. That is, they use secondary data. That is data from previous research that other people have conducted. Now, we in Nigeria, we just conduct normal primary study most times. So what we do most times is this traditional search approach. You do more of systematic search. For systematic search approach, it is very, very well organized. You will have the number of database you are searching for. You will have the number of study you retrieve from each database. Database is where all these research are stored. All these research articles, they are where they are stored. That is database, from the word data and base. So now when you are conducting systematic review, you are going to indicate the database that you use, the number of articles that you got from each, the number of articles that you screened out based on your inclusion and exclusion criteria. Maybe in your study you say, okay, it's only study that conducted in Nigeria that I want to use in my systematic review, and you remove the ones that are not conducted in Nigeria. So that is it. But for the traditional approach, it is general, it lacks structure. It is not like it's not structured, but it's not as structured as a systematic approach. So one of the things about systematic approach is that systematic approach is reproducible. Reproducible in the sense that another person can conduct your systematic review using your methodology and arrive at the same result. It is not true with traditional search. But in systematic review, another person can conduct your study using your methodology, and we can all have the same report card. So for the systematic approach, let me move to the next slide. For the systematic approach, I told us that when we want to search for literatures, we need to go to databases. We need to go to what? Databases. So now, where are all these databases that are relevant to us in the clinical sector? Some people, I'm doing a recording, and I believe that I'm going to share it with us so that we can still listen to it again and again, and you can ask questions. If you ask questions, I love explaining all these things. If I need to come back as many times, I'll come back to explain it. Now, I told us that database is where all these researches are stored. So now, for instance, when you are dealing with medical science, the database that are important. Number one, PubMed, also known as Medline, because PubMed actually contains most of the research in Medline. That's why I put brackets Medline, because if you are using PubMed, there is no need for you to use Medline again, because 99% of the research that are in PubMed are in Medline. Then another database is Google Scholar. Just type it on Google, you will see Google Scholar. You can get research from it. Now, this PubMed is free. You can easily access it. Google Scholar is also free. You can easily access it. Scopus, you need an institutional access. And that is why by the time we conduct research in this aspect, we are going to advocate for policy changes. We are going to advocate that things are done the right way. Because why will we be in Nigeria and the library system is not well equipped? The virtual library system is not well equipped with the relevant databases that should aid our research exercise. You can easily access PubMed. You can access Google Scholar. So I'm going to tell us how we can also maximize the things available onto us. So, but Scopus, see, as we go on in our publication, these are some things which I knew earlier. Journals that are not indexed in Scopus, they are not really the best. Don't go for any journal that is not well indexed in Scopus. Journals are found in all of these databases. Researches from journals can be found in these databases. So now there are some research that will not make it into Scopus. Most research, 90% of research will make it to what? Google Scholar. They will make it to, but not all of them will make it to Scopus. So, but Scopus is not really easily accessible. CINAHL is for nursing journal, cumulative index nursing and allied health journal. It is for nursing and allied health. CINAHL is not accessible unless without an institutional access. That is, we need to advocate for a virtual library that is working. We need to hold all of these people accountable and responsible, but we still need to conduct research in that aspect, because it is research that will present to them that we use to advocate for policy changes and modifications. Now, I've talked about PubMed is accessible. You can search your research in PubMed. You can search for your research in Google Scholar in Nigeria. Scopus is not easily accessible. Sina is not easily accessible. Cochrane is accessible. You can search for Cochrane Library online. But there are some articles in Cochrane Library that you still not get. And I'm going to show us a black approach to it. Like there's a relatively black market, because where we get some other articles that we cannot get. So now ResearchGate is open. ResearchGate contains a lot of authors, so you can easily walk up to an author that, please, I need this study from you on ResearchGate, and the author will send it to you. You can request for full text article, because if you check some articles, they will only show you the abstract. You can request for the complete study on ResearchGate, connect with authors, but focus on PubMed, focus on Google Scholar if you are in Nigeria. If you are in other country, you can get Scopus, Sinai, Cochrane Library, or Central. Central is also in this Cochrane Library thing. Central contains more of randomized control trial, experimental research. You know, we have observational studies, we have experimental studies. Experimental studies, they are the ones whereby you manipulate a variable to get an outcome. So, all right, observational study and experimental study. Experimental study, for example, now, if you want to conduct a study, maybe you want to compare a digital health intervention approach and a traditional approach in improving medication adherence among hypertensive patients. Now, experimental study, you can just randomize people into a group. Group 1, you'll be subjected to digital therapy. Group 2, you will be subjected to just normal way we do things in the world, just advice on discharge. And we want to test, we now compare the two. That is experimental approach. Observational approach, you can just gather like 200 people and say, okay, how many among them, you just ask them, how many of you have received health education via digital approach before? How many have not received health education via digital approach before? You just ask them that question. You now test, you now check whether the people that have received digital education on medication adherence before, whether they have better adherence compared to the people that say they have not received digital intervention or digital therapy before, or medication adherence. Now that is just observation. You are just observing it. It's not like maybe you carried out an experiment that you randomize them into group and you subjected them to test over time. So that is it. So Central contains RCT. Now, if you are conducting a systematic review, all of this journal, all of this database should be there. As a nurse, as a doctor, should be there. Use PubMed, Scopus, Sinai, Cochrane, Web of Science, basically, if you are doing a systematic search. But if it is not a systematic search, it's not compulsory that those ones are there. So those ones, is good that you have all of those ones, so that you have a robust thing. Though you can still dodge Scopus and include Web of Science, or you include Web of Science and dodge Scopus. You can still do that. You don't need ResearchGate for it. But now, there are times whereby you are conducting a specific study. Now, your study is in psychiatry. Maybe you are conducting a study on digital mental health intervention among black minority group in the UK, in the US. Now, in that situation, you can now go to database that are specific. Now, we have Psych article. It's based on psychiatry. Now, we have Psych info. It's based on Psych info. Psychiatry as well. So you can include that one to add it, so that, because the goal of, if you are doing a systematic search and you want to, is that you want to retrieve every research that is retrievable to include in your study. Now, you have AJOL, that's African Journal Online. It's one African journal. Now, if your study is limited to journal, you should search this African Journal Online. It should be included. And that is if you are doing a systematic search. If what you are doing is just for your undergraduate study in Nigeria, you don't really need to stress yourself about much of all these articles. Your PubMed is okay. Your Google Scholar is okay. Yes, PubMed is okay. Google Scholar is okay. You don't need some of these, and ResearchGate is okay. Then I'm still going to show us another way to search for some of these articles. So I've told us about the fact that these are the databases that are peculiar to us. Master them. You can just search and just have some knowledge about all those things. Just three lines knowledge about it, and you can listen to this over and over again. So PubMed is medically oriented, medically inclined. Google Scholar is broad. Scopus is broad. Sinai is medical. Central, Cochrane is medical. ResearchGate is broad. Web of Science is broad. Psych article is psychiatry specific. Psych info is psychiatry specific. Now another, oh thank God, another journal that I don't want us to, that you need to include if you are dealing with systematic research, is Embase. Embase is also good. So for systematic search, you need Embase. Include in you are conducting a systematic review, a scoping review, use Embase. Ensure you use Embase. Use either Scopus or Web of Science, or you use the two. Ensure you use Sinai. Ensure you use PubMed. You don't need Google Scholar. Google Scholar will bring a lot of rubbish and jargons for you, and it will take a long time to process and remove irrelevant articles. So it's best to avoid Google Scholar. But you will still use Google Scholar, and I'm going to show us how to use it, Google Scholar, in that approach. Now, if you want to use Google Scholar, you will now search Google Scholar using traditional approach. That is, you will not search it using a systematic step-by-step approach. You will just search for it using traditional approach. That is, you can just search manually. You don't need to be you don't need to go through the step-by-step approach in systematic search. So that is just it. So because Google Scholar will retrieve too much research for you, and screening it and removing research will take a lot of time. So that is it about the systematic and traditional search approach. So now I want to still go, I will not dwell on this, but we just need to have the knowledge also. If you are conducting a systematic research, you need to have knowledge about grey literatures, because if you are conducting a systematic study, you want to retrieve every study on it most times, except if you are focusing on a particular type of study, because there are some time people focus on systematic review of randomized control trial. Maybe you want to test a drug, you want to check the effectiveness of a particular drug, you might want to focus on systematic review of randomized control trials, because randomized control trial is that kind of study that has the least level of bias. You might not want to focus on quasi experiments that they just use non-random approach. So because now this is drug, so you might focus on that. But in a situation whereby that is not the case, you might want to review grey literatures. Grey literatures are all these thesis, dissertation reports that have not been published in traditional journals. They have not been published in all these commercial journals. Example of commercial journals, PLOS ONE, you have Lancet, you have BMJ journal, you have Journal of Nursing Science, Africa, you have several journals. So they have not been published in all those journals. Your research in school that is uploaded to your school portal, that is in your school library, they are grey literatures. So those ones, if you are doing a systematic review, you might want to include all of them. Now you can see all of them from clinicaltrial.gov. You can search for it on Google, you will see it. You can see grey literatures from this WHO international clinical trials. You can see from this WHO global health database. You can see from Google Scholar and ResearchGate. You can see for your local libraries. These are where you can find the grey literatures. If you are conducting a systematic review, you need to search all these places, and I'm still going to show us. And when you are searching all these places, you don't need to use a systematic approach. You need to just search it using a traditional way. But when you are searching the former database I talked about, some of them you might need to use a systematic approach. But if the study you are conducting is not a systematic study, you can search it using a traditional approach. And I'm going to expand more on the traditional approach as we make progress. Now, before we go on, I want to say something that, remember I told you that there are some studies that you only see the abstract, you will not see the full study. One of the two that can help you is SCI Hub. You can use Inari, but please use SCI Hub. You can use Library Key, Nomad, on paywall. You can use all those things. You will see free research. Researches that they, at times, as this thing never happened to you, whereby you're searching for a research and they say you cannot access the research unless you pay a money or a subscription. Now, they are subscription based research. Some are not open access. Some research are open access. You can easily access it, while some require a subscription. Now we have Inari, but the prominent one is SCI Hub. So when you cannot, by the time you cannot get some research, just use SCI Hub. Check whether that research is in SCI Hub. Maybe you are working on a research and you find out that you cannot see the research. Just check SCI Hub. You will check SCI Hub and you will see the research there. Though there are times that you may not be able to see those research in SCI Hub. In that situation, just accept faith. Just accept it in that situation. And how do you locate SCI Hub? Just copy this thing, SCI/Hub. SCI Hub. Please, let's mute ourselves, please. SCI Hub. Just type SCI Hub. You can see it. Type SCI Hub and put it on Google. Search SCI Hub on Google. Now, when you type SCI up and you put it on Google, this is more practical. This is more practical. When you type SCI up on Google, it's going to show you will use SCI up. You'll be able to access articles that you cannot access normally. You can just type the DOI. Now, the digital object identifier, you can use the DOI. You can use DOI of the article. You can copy this DOI. This is the digital object identifier. Always look for it. Digital object identifier. Copy it and paste it here. So when you paste it here, you open it, you copy that DOI and you open it, and it's going to bring out the article. It's good for article that cannot be retrieved, article that they are subscription based. You might not, if articles, this article is not subscription based, it is free. That's why you cannot see it there. This article is free. You see, the article is free. But articles that are subscription based, they will be on that SCI hub, but there are times that it may not be there. So this is going to help you a lot. Now let's make progress. Now, another thing I want to show us is, for the traditional search for literature, Elicit is very, very important. Elicit is like an AI tool that can help you in your search endeavor. If you are in nursing in Nigeria, there are some database that are very, very important. I will need to.
Please, can you mute the person that is speaking or remove the person from the call? Because it's overshadowing what you're explaining.
For an undergraduate in Nigeria, let me complain for you. Now, I told you earlier that the place that you should be targeting to search for your literatures includes Google Scholar, includes PubMed. Those are the ones that are free, that you can easily access to get all the literatures for your research. And I told you that when you want to start your research and it's looking difficult, just open several literatures. By the time you start looking at what other people have done, it will help you. You will see the approach. You will copy from this person, paraphrase it. I will even show you how to use AI tools, probably in our next webinar. I might show you how you can use AI tools to actually paraphrase easily. Paraphrase from this one, get from this one, get from this one, get from that one, and you join everything together. You want to write your introduction. Look for the introduction of 10 research or 20 research. Look for paragraph 1 from 1. Like in paragraph 1, look for 3. Just cut. Just make sure that you have diverse perspective. It's going to relieve you of stress. You don't know where to start. Just start by searching for literatures and looking for those literatures in your line. Now, I told you Google Scholar, PubMed. Those ones are important. Now, Elicit is an AI tool. It's going to help you a lot. Elicit is going to help you a lot in your research endeavor. So, when you are dealing with Elicit, just search for Elicit. ELCIT. Just search for Elicit. You can see Elicit already. It's already showing Elicit. So now here, you can easily ask Elicit question. Now, you can say knowledge of COVID-19 vaccine among Nigerians. Elicit is going to summarize the first 4 research for you. Very, very easy. Elicit will summarize it for you easily. Now you can see this is the first research. Elicit is focused. As a student that is starting out in research, Elicit is going to help you. Now, Elicit will summarize it for you. You can apply filters. You can filter it. Just search for what you want. You will see Elicit. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Elicit is focused. This is AI. AI is in the 4th industrial revolution and is a game changer in many things. AI is not a thing. And I'm going to be showing us how we can use AI to ace our research endeavor. How you can use AI the way you should use it. Most times people don't really know how to use AI. AI is confused. They too, they are confused and they enter into the bush together. So people don't really know how to use AI oftentimes. Elicit, look at Elicit has already summarized everything for me. He has already summarized for me. You see, he has talked about the willingness to accept the vaccine, blah, 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 blah. That should show us that most studies did not focus on knowledge of COVID-19. I can tweak it. I can remove this COVID-19 and just say knowledge of COVID-19. And that's I'm still going to get there, how to search for literatures. You don't need to be, you can go from the broad, to narrow or narrow to broad. Like when you are searching, If you just type everything you want to search, somebody is conducting a study on knowledge, attitude, and practice of cervical cancer screening among childbearing age women, and the person is just typing everything like that, maybe among childbearing age women in Osun State, and the person just type everything like that into all these websites, the person is not going to see anything. He will see little article. Why not break it down? Why not start from, okay, knowledge of cervical cancer screening, attitude towards cervical cancer screening, attitude towards cervical practice of cervical cancer screening? Why not break it down like that? Factors influencing cervical cancer screening. Now you can now go to more, you can expand, you can narrow it further and say knowledge of cervical cancer screening among childbearing age women. You can narrow it, then you will now narrow it also to the point that you get to knowledge of cervical screening among childbearing age women in Nigeria. You will now narrow it to Osun State. Not that you just start broad like that, you will not see literatures. So at times somebody have been to me before and the person told me, I cannot see literatures, and by the time I search for it, I said there are plenty of research on this thing that you say you cannot find literatures, because this person just want to type all the keywords at once, and the person is not going to find literatures that way. So Elicit is going to help you. It's AI tools. You can easily see a lot of research just using Elicit. There are several other AI tools. Another place where we can get research, I told us we can search research and get research articles from database searches. Now we can get research articles from high policy bodies. Now what are these high policy bodies? They are all these WHO, World Health Organization, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, UNICEF, UN-AIDS, all those ones. You can see all of them. World Bank, NICE, ACOG for clinical, for obstetric and gynecology, NICE clinical efficiency. You will always see a lot of guidelines from NICE. Guideline like 2 hourly repositioning for prevention of pressure ulcer. Is it 2 hours that we should use? Is it 4 hours that we should use? Now these people, Nigeria is getting better. God is helping us. We will get to a point whereby we will become experts in research, that we will develop guidelines that they will be using in Nigeria based on our own research findings, not just based on data that they brought from overseas, not just guidelines that they are using over there. These policy bodies, they develop guidelines, they make policies. Now they have proven record. Now in research, you don't just go to a website and carry one research and come and be using it for your dissertation. Don't do that. You see some people in their research, it's one website, blog, people that are posting rubbish. Somebody can sit down in the room and just copy ChatGPT and put it on a blog and say you will now cite that person. It is not reputable. You use literatures that have been peer reviewed. Those literatures that have been peer reviewed, they are the ones that you find in all of those journals. You find in all of those databases. Now you can use literatures from all these policy bodies too. Now when you want to get statistics, you can easily get it from WHO. Now you want to get statistics on maternal mortality, just type it, maternal mortality, WHO, World Health Organization. You want to search for something, search for what WHO has to say about that thing as well. In terms of statistics, WHO will give you morbidity, which is defect, and mortality. How many people have died from it? So when you are writing your statement of problem, WHO will help you. You are conducting a study on breast self-examination, you can start by searching WHO. Now when you search WHO journal, when you search WHO for that, you are going to get maybe like you can, but you are this breast self-examination. Now what is the problem in breast self-examination? Is it not breast cancer that you are trying to prevent? So you can go and search for breast cancer on WHO, and you see the people that have died from it, people that have had it in low and middle income country, people that have had it globally, people that have had it in low and middle income countries, people that have had it in Nigeria. You are going to see it like that. So high policy bodies, they will help you. UNICEF is there, UN-AIDS is there, United Nations. World Bank is there. World Bank will give you some statistics. How many people are living in poverty? Always use all of these things. It makes your work look credible. Don't go and be copying one Ade and Okoro that just started blogging and are posting rubbish up and down. You can use NICE guidelines. It will make your research look rich. That according to NICE, the criteria for antenatal planning. Now let's continue from there. Now we have UN-AIDS, we have World Bank, we have NICE, ACOG. So these are places where you can get literatures. Don't forget, if you are working on your research, you can get literatures, information from these high policy bodies. You can get information from journals, from all those databases that I talked to you about previously. You can get information from all those databases that I talked to you previously, all those PubMed, Google Scholar. I'm saying all of these things so that I don't lose us along the way. So I told us that you can get information from all these policy bodies as well. And I told us that you can use Elicit to search. You can use Google Scholar to search. You can use PubMed to search if you are in Nigeria, essentially. You can use Elicit to search for literatures. Now, when you want to search, you need some things which are called search terms. You need, what are the content that you put there. You need to get literatures for your dissertation, for your research. Now, what are the keywords that you want to use? Now, like I told you the other time, that start simple. Don't just go too deep and just lump everything together. You can break it, split it. What are the common studies that you people use to that we use to conduct in Nigeria? You do more of knowledge, attitude and practice. Even when they twerk it and say determinant predictors, at the end of the day you still do knowledge, attitude and practice, and then you now go to the predictors, which is otherwise called. Now you can use synonyms and variants, alternative keywords. Now if you are searching for, maybe your supervisor say your study is determinant of family planning uptake, you can use synonyms. Don't limit it to family planning, use contraceptive as well. You can say determinant. Another word for determinant includes factors, barriers, facilitators, predictors. Those are alternative search terms, and this is where you can actually use AI to assist you. You can go to ChatGPT, what are the alternative search terms for this thing, and you will see some other things for it, so that when you are searching for only predictors of family planning uptake, you may not see articles, but by the time you change it and use barriers, you use factors influencing, you will see articles that will come out of it. You can even look for knowledge of family planning uptake, because eventually knowledge and utilization of family planning uptake, eventually you see all those things, they will emerge. You will get the information that you need. So usage of specific keywords, synonyms, they are very important. Specific phrases, they are also very, very important, and I'm still going to talk around it in the systematic approach as well. Now you can use acronyms, but at the same time, please don't only use acronyms, use both, use the acronyms and the full words as well, like and the full text. So another thing that, I told us that we are not raising local champions here, we can actually have good knowledge. Another thing is mesh terms. We have mesh terms, medical subject headings. What medical subject headings do is, medical subject headings is meant for PubMed majorly, or Medline importantly. Now what medical subject heading will do for us is, it's just a singular word and it will have different meaning. So instead of searching for several key terms, maybe searching for hypertension or blood pressure, if you just type hypertension as a mesh term, hypertension has covered for several other alternative. That is the function of mesh term for you. So now, for example, you are conducting a study among maybe in low and middle income country. By the time you type developing countries, it will cover for several low and middle income countries. You don't need to start mentioning Kano, Borno. You don't need to start mentioning Nigeria, Ghana, Sudan. You mention, we have over 40 something or 50 something low and middle income country according to the World Bank. Now you don't have to start mentioning all the countries. By the time you use developing countries, it will cover it, mesh term. So that is what mesh term can do, medical subject headings. Then you can actually adopt the PICO framework as well. This one is meant for systematic search basically. I'm still going to come back to also teach us around systematic review as well. PICO, all these mesh terms, they are very important, especially when you want to write systematic review. But for your undergraduate research, for your master's dissertation, if you are in Nigeria, just, you don't need to be using all of this mesh term PICO framework. Just type your topic, break it into two. Your search terms, break it into two. Your topic, break it into several parts, not two rather. Break it into several parts. You can pick, if your study is factors influencing substance abuse among undergraduates, look for knowledge of substance abuse among undergraduates. Look for practice of substance abuse among undergraduates. Look for attitude towards substance abuse among undergraduates. You might not even put undergraduate there, so that you can have a broad research range. If you do that, you have a lot of studies already. You will get the literatures that you need. So you can search, where do you enter those key terms? You can enter them into Google Scholar, enter them into PubMed, search for PubMed, enter them there, enter them into Elicit. Then by the time you now go to factors influence substance abuse among undergraduates. Now when you need details about now you want to even understand what is substance abuse, I will show you how to get it. You want to get what is substance abuse, just type substance abuse in PubMed, type substance abuse in Google Scholar, you will see plenty articles. Type substance abuse in Elicit, you see plenty articles. But I want to show you a better and a quicker way to do it. I taught some people then, and they've taught several people back in my undergraduate days. Just come like this, just type substance abuse, anything. Even if you have presentation, seminar, try this thing, it work like magic. Substance use disorder, NCBI, just type it like that. You will see all the several articles that you see there. See articles. Just come to Google like this, you will see plenty articles. So you need information on that. Is for when you are dealing with the concepts. Please don't get me wrong. Now you are conducting a research on factors influencing substance abuse among undergraduates. Now I've told you how you will get the major study that specific to factors influencing substance abuse. I told you, just break it down. Search for knowledge of substance abuse, attitude towards substance abuse, practice of substance abuse. Search for factors influencing substance abuse, determinant of substance abuse, predictors of substance abuse. Split it like that, narrow it. Those things I listed, those terms are listed. Enter it into Google Scholar, enter it into Elicit, enter it into PubMed. You can even enter it into normal Google search. You will see articles. Then you can enter it into Google search. Those terms I listed, enter them into Google search and put NCBI. Now for instance, now you want to go into some concepts, core concepts, like what is substance abuse itself. Now you can use to get maybe statistics, what WHO is saying about substance abuse. You can easily just type substance abuse World Health Organization. Substance abuse World Health Organization. You want to see what the World Health Organization is saying there. You see statistics on it. And when you are presenting your statistics in your write-up, start globally. When you talk about the statistics globally, go to low and middle income country or developing country. When you go to developing country, narrow it down to sub-Saharan Africa if it is available. If it's not available, narrow it down to Nigeria. Narrow it down to your state. That is just it. So when you check WHO, you will see statistics on it. You can search for, you see statistics in other studies as well. There is conceptual literature review, there is empirical review. All those ones, they will help you in the empirical aspect. Now you can ask questions, anything that is not clear, come on the group, we will attend to you. You will do your research and you do it very well. You want to deal with a study on COVID-19 adherence. Now you can now go to COVID-19 itself. COVID-19, you want information on COVID-19, just come here, just put COVID-19 NCBI. After you have searched normally by typing COVID-19 knowledge among people, NCBI, you can now type COVID-19 NCBI. You will see literatures. On it, several literatures. Somebody want to do a seminar, is looking for articles for seminar. If you use NCBI, like, it will bring you several things. So you can just type it and put NCBI. You will see a lot of articles like that. You can type knowledge. You can type I told you to split your search into simple form. You can split it and just type it naturally on Google, because now what is going to happen is, if you type it naturally on Google like that, you will see a lot of studies that were not indexed in high quality journals. Some people publish their studies in journals that you can't even find it online. So you will see all those studies, all those small studies. You can easily use them as well. Some of them are not even great literatures, but it's just that the studies does not have high impact factors. The journal does not have high impact factor. They don't have high visibility. But if you just type what you are looking for, just split it into two. You are doing something on breast examination, just go to knowledge of breast examination, factors, interventions, digital health intervention, impact on telenursing, all those things. Just look for alternative keywords, search times, break it down, split it. Don't go too broad. Don't just lump everything together and type everything. Break it down, split it, make it simple. You can now become more precise by going to what you actually want to look for. But start by searching randomly, generally. And as you are searching, just be opening different tabs. If I want to write introduction now, I will open different tabs. And by the time I open different tabs, I'll be opening it, I'll be checking, I'll be opening, I'll be checking, I'll be opening, I'll be checking. I'll be opening, I'll be checking. And that's how we have a lot of research to write my introduction. And I will check the way the person, this one, how did this person write his own introduction? How did this person write his own introduction? I will copy the things I need there. Do you get? Okay, this is how a person writes introduction. Cancer is significant. I will paraphrase it like this. This significant, I will paraphrase it. The one, let me use this one. Now let me go to another article. Lung cancer has the highest mortality rate. No. I don't do mono citation that you just use one article. By the time they take it to plagiarism detector, they will show you that you copy everything from one article. Go to another article. It's not the only person that talk about it. Another article will talk about it. So that is just it. So the goal of this training is how to search for literatures. And if there's anything that is not clear, still come again to come and ask. And if when this training ends, now I'm going to put another link online so that you can quickly join. And I have some few slides more. You see, I don't have many slides more. There's so much that I want to talk about. Really, I talk about the databases that you use. I told you that enter those search, narrow your search times, or I don't know, like don't be too precise with your search terms. Don't just type everything. Your study is in Osun State. You have typed all your study entirely into Google. You have typed all your study entirely into PubMed. You have typed all your study entirely into Google Scholar. You have typed all your study entirely into you have typed all your study entirely into Google Scholar. You have typed all your study entirely into PubMed, into Elicit. Those are the major ones that I want you to be using for now for your normal undergraduate or postgraduate research in Nigeria. Basically, you have typed everything. You will not see literatures that way. Split it, break it. You are doing a study on self-medication among nursing students, practice of self-medication among nursing students. Don't just go and just type it among nursing students. You can do practice of self-medication generally. You will have more information like that. You have more content to use. Then you can now go to practice of self-medication among students. Don't just say among nursing students first of all. Then now say practice of self-medication among nursing students. You will have enough articles that way. You have splitted it. And I've told you to search time to use. You can use, and additionally to searching in PubMed, in Google Scholar, in Elicit, you can use knowledge of self-medication among students. Put NCBI at the end of it and you will see literatures. You can even put it on Google directly. You will see literatures. So that is how to search for literatures. You will have, that is the traditional way. You don't have any structured approach. You are just doing it that way. That way you will search and find plenty of literatures for your research. Nothing like, and you, because you don't know how to start your research, by looking at all those literature, it will help you to write a good introduction. It will help you to write a good introduction. It will help you to know what other people have done on your research. You'll be able to summarize what other people have done. See, Elicit will even help you to summarize what other people have done on your research. So you'll be able to talk about what other people have done and what they have not done. Maybe they have conducted all this study, but they conducted it in Kutu Wenji. Now you are conducting your own in Taraba. Now they conducted their own study in Oba population. Now you are conducting. They conducted their own study in urban center. You are conducting your own study in among the internally displaced population. You are conducting it in rural area. So you'll be able to summarize, know what other people have found out in your research, what other people have done, and then the need for your study. You're able to present it that okay, well, this is the need for my own study. Now that all these other people, this was what they found out. Now my own study is needed. You can even see that okay, all these other study that they did, oh, these people they use qualitative approach, they use quantitative approach, their sample size is even very small. My own study, the sample size is big. Me, I'm using random sampling. You have identified the need for your own studies. So literature search is very, very important. So that is just it. So systematic approach, like I've talked, it has a step by step. You will need to choose the terms that you want to use. You will need to choose the terms, the key terms that you want to use. Very, very important. You can go to AI and ask AI to give you alternative key terms for a particular study. You can go to studies that other people have conducted, check their references. You will see alternative key terms that you can use. Check the study that other people have conducted on that thing. You will see alternative key terms that you can use. That is for systematic search. That is, those ones are very, very structured and organized. And you need to understand some things about systematic search approach is that you might need to use Boolean operators, and or not are the major Boolean operators. They combine the terms. They help you to, they help you to organize your search, to develop a comprehensive search strategy. Because I told you that systematic approach is structured, is reproducible. It follows an approach whereby another person can do it and come out with the same report card. So that is something about the systematic search approach.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
From what I have learned now, we should be able to have our introduction from different write-ups in which we can paraphrase on our own.
Yes,
So when we
definitely.
do that, how do we now go about referencing what we have written?
Just reference the author, reference the person that you got it from. Do you get? Reference the person that you got it from, because the person actually got it from a study and read it and summarize it. You can reference that person. Do you get? But when it comes to when it comes to content, like normal content, you can reference the person that which you got the content from. Generally, you can reference the person. I had that confusion when I started writing then, that okay, do I reference the person this person referenced, or I reference the person? Because if you reference the person reference, you know, they told you that your study is 5 years for journals, 10 years for textbooks.
Yeah.
So at that point you will have issues.
Yeah.
You can reference the person, just reference the person, you don't have problem. But now there are exemption to that. Exemption to that in the sense that when you want to cite statistics, always go to originals. Like for example, now maybe me, I reviewed in my own study, I reviewed, maybe I presented WHO statistics, and when you want to reference it, you said according to WHO. At the end of the references, you now reference the person. Now they will ask for WHO, they will not ask for the person. Yes, that is just it. So in that kind of situation, you reference, when you are dealing with statistics, always look for the original, and they are always look for current up-to-date statistics. Look for systematic reviews on statistics. Look for meta-analysis. Look for WHO report on statistics, UN report on statistics, World Bank report on statistics. Always do that. And then when you are dealing with some specific things, maybe knowledge of hypertension among hypertensive patients attending State Specialty Hospital Ibadan. Now, knowledge of hypertension in that kind of situation, maybe in my own study that I'm conducting, I reviewed literature by Makinde. I now reviewed that literature and I wrote that according to a study conducted, this was what they found out in their study. Now you now wanted to cite me, like now you now read, now somebody now read my study, wanted to cite me. He now cited me, that according to me, I found out that would be wrong. Do you get? Because the original person is actually Makinde. So when you are dealing with facts and figures, always be careful. Look for the primary person. Now you are talking, but if it is just some small information like causes of hypertension includes cancer, causes of hypertension includes high salt intake, sedentary lifestyle, smoking, alcohol abuse, genetic predisposition, you can cite me, you can cite any other author. But if you are now dealing with specifics, like maybe knowledge of maybe facts and figures, at that point go to the original. Or otherwise, if you don't want, if you have fear in citing me, just go and cite studies. Like I told you earlier, that just go and cite, instead of citing hypertension, maybe causes of hypertension, you want to write causes of hypertension in your introduction, maybe some things like okay, hypertension, or you want to define hypertension in your introduction, and you don't want to cite me because me, I cited somebody that was cited in maybe 2009, and me, you are thinking maybe you should cite me, and you are scared that can you cite me for this definition of high blood pressure? You might not want to cite me. You can just go to Google, just type hypertension. See, I told you this thing works like magic. Hypertension, NCBI, works like magic. Can you see it? You will see plenty things. So you don't have problem. You already have a lot of information. Just type it, you will see plenty things on it. So that is just it. So did I answer your question?
Yes.
All right.
Well, now, for instance, if I gather information from 2-3 people
Okay.
to make up my own sentence,
Okay.
first from 2-3 people, who will I now reference as the owner of that write-up?
You will reference all of them. Just reference the 3 of them. Yes. Just reference the 3 of them. Put brackets, if it is APA style, just put brackets Ade Eto, 2024. Olu Eto, 2023. Ade Olu Wa Eto, full stop, 2025. Just put all of them like that. Put column, use column, like semicolon rather, to separate it, semicolon after it. Do you get? So that's just it. Did I answer your question?
Okay.
If you have if you are not cleared along the line, just come on the group. Maybe I'm going to open the group so that people can talk on the group. I'm going to change the security that people can talk so that you can actually ask questions. Do you get? And if I see that it's becoming rowdy, I will lock it again so that I can answer the question. So does anybody have any other question that he or she wants to ask before I just quickly round up? Does any other person have? See, if you have question throughout this week till our next class, if you have any problem with how to reference, how to search for literatures, the video on referencing is out already. I'm going to send the other video also. Yes, how to use reference managers. You should not be using stressing over referencing. If there's anything you don't understand with referencing, come, we'll trash it out. I made a video on it. I had to start over again to make the video. I'm almost done with this meeting. We'll soon be done like this. So if you need anything, just tell me, let me know, and that's all. We'll trash it out. So if you still have any question with searching for literatures for your research, please do well to tell me. If you have questions with searching for literatures, you can come online and just tell me, like, I'm going to try as much as possible to help out. I'm going to try as much as possible with you. You say, oh, I'm not finding literatures. I've tried the things that you talk about. I will try as much as possible to help out. So that is just it. So I want, at the end of this goal, my joy is that we all master this art of how to search for literatures. And my joy is we did a video, we did a webinar on referencing. My joy is that we all use reference managers to manage our referencing and we reference effectively. If there's anything you don't understand, come to the group, ask your questions, and that is just it. So let me just quickly, I don't know, maybe Google was nice to us today. I don't understand, maybe it's power or I don't know. So let me just let's just go to let's just do something on the systematic search approach, because there are different people on the group. There are some people that what they need is they don't really need more of that traditional approach for their dissertation. They want the systematic approach. So let me just quickly run through it, and then subsequently I'm still going to expand more on it when I'm teaching about how to conduct systematic review. Systematic review is really a lot of things. I'm going to still expand on it in subsequent webinar. Let me just quickly just close it, how to search using a systematic approach, how to conduct a search. So like I told us that you must take note of these Boolean operators and or not, and we combine, like maybe you are conducting a study on medication adherence among hypertensive patients. You will use medication adherence and then put and in capital letter hypertensive patient. So and we combine together, or we say, oh, either or this. Maybe you are doing medication adherence, you can put or medication compliance or drug compliance. That is what all we do. Or not, maybe you are doing a study diabetes mellitus, not insipidus. You are doing a study adult, not adolescent. That is what Boolean operators will do. So now when you want to carry out a systematic search in all these prominent database, I'm still going to let me just find time to focus more on this systematic search because of our time, because we've already told people that okay, it's just 1 hour that we are using. So because so that people will not and if you want me to go ahead, see, I'm open. No, you can enter, you can type in WhatsApp group that okay, please let's continue. I'll open the WhatsApp group. You type that let's continue. I will set up my system again. I will continue. But let me talk about this systematic search approach maybe next time, so that because last week I rushed some things and I had to do videos again on those referencing. I'm going to be sending the link to the videos online. I had to do them again. I even did one video. I thought I was recording. I was not recording. I had to do it again. So I don't want to rush things, because the goal is that we learn. The goal is to impart knowledge. The goal is to build a team and see that people who have research knowledge, so that when we have research that want to work together, that we need more people, we can say, okay, who is in for this study, and we all work together and we get published. You can have an idea, you can reach out to me, I can collaborate in your study. Don't conduct study and let the study just end up in library. You want to start your research, you can reach out, we can always work together. There's no problem. And as far as, of course, I do analysis, I charge people for money, but when it comes to all these things, like to explain your chapter 2, chapter 3, if it's analysis, fine, I can charge you. I'm not going to charge for this for now, at least. So that's just it. So let me maybe come back again and talk around, focus more on this systematic search approach. Yes, I will focus more on it. So this is, you can just look at some of this slide. Like I'm going to send the video, just look at it, and I'm not focusing on systematic. I will come and dwell on systematic later. I mean, I have it already. Like, sorry, okay, I have it. This I was already writing something around a systematic approach to searching. Like I mean, I was already doing all of these things. So let me just come back again and come and explain it because of our time, because we've already told people that this is the time that we want to use just 1 hour, and we're already going beyond. But if maybe I see that people are really very willing, me, I can come back online and come and start explaining the systematic approach in details. So I believe that we have gotten how to really search literatures through that traditional method, like just searching naturally. So if you have issue, you're not able to retrieve literature, you're not able to search for literatures. I told you the literatures that they're asking you to pay money, literatures that are asking you to pay money, just go to SCI Hub if it is available in SCI Hub. If it's not available in SCI Hub, then there's no problem. You will see other places to look for literatures. You will see other people that are talking about the things you are looking for. You can go to ResearchGate and see search. You will see other literatures to use. Do you get? So even if it is abstract at times, you can use the abstract. So you always see literatures. So, and I told you that if you start your research, you don't even know where to start from. Just open like 20 tabs. You will know how to start. And I'm still going to come and explain how to write a background to the study. I'm going to explain all of those things. We have don't worry, like we'll talk around all these things. I've been involved in I've been a freelancer for a long time, like for a very, very, very long time. I'm very, very confident and very bold about all these things. It was after some time that I started like, oh, I need to focus on more publications now. I've done enough freelancing. So let's just close tonight. Does anybody have any other question? And let us just conclude tonight. So I will come again maybe next week. I'm going to dwell on the systematic approach and then talk around maybe usage of artificial intelligence and talk about some other things. Does anybody have any other question tonight? You can drop your comments in if you don't want to type, you can just drop a comment. If you have questions, you can use message. You can use message, like you can drop a message if you have any question, or so you can just type in the box. All right, so please let's invite others. Please let's invite other people to join this class. Like I really want us to be many, because as time goes on, I'm going to bring a lot of experts, my connections, some of my mentors, some of the people I follow. I'm going to bring some of them to come and also help as well along the line. So when we share it and we bring other people, we'll be so motivated that if I'm even paying somebody, because if I bring somebody, obviously I'm still going to, the person, there's nobody that will, most of them, 90% of them will not request anything from me, but I might just want to, like, okay, to compensate for your data, because but what if I'm giving you all that and then we are not many, like, do you get that kind of thing? So we need to also be encouraged and motivated. So if you have questions about searching for literatures, how to search and access literatures, and it's not clear, just do it to reach out. We will always help you. Even if I'm not available, I will instruct somebody to just find a way to help out. So I've talked about referencing last week. Please, I will put a link to how we can reference. I'll put the link of the video on the group so that we can go and watch the video. If you still have problem with referencing, let me know. If you have problem with accessing literature, let me know. I'm going to talk about some other aspects later. So thank you so much. Good evening. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Thanks so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
We do appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So I want to you said we are going to have a systematic approach this week, this night.
Yes, initially.
We're not having it again.
Like I'm saying that because we already said, like, maybe it's just an hour that we talk about that we are going to use for this class. So I saw that there are still more. I've actually touched about the systematic approach. I've touched it. If you see it, I've really touched it. I've gone through some things there, but I saw that it's really more deeper. Like I would want further time to really explore it. So that's why I'm saying that we are still coming to talk around it next week a bit. Then we'll move to using artificial intelligence and some other things next week. But we are going to still talk about more on systematic approach, because this systematic approach involves the use of Boolean operators, involve all these things, like involve you will need to export it, then you will need PICO, population intervention comparison outcome, you need the search term, you need match term, the database. I'm going to show you how to search, where to search in doing systematic approach. So that's just it. So it's really a lot. So let me just talk around it next week, or if we can agree on a time, even in the course of this week. Yes, this webinar is continuous. Don't worry, it's continuous. Don't worry. Don't worry, this webinar is continuous. I mean, if I'm able to secure people's agreement on the group, even if it is 15 people that agree on the group that let's have the systematic approach, even if it is tomorrow, we can do it tomorrow. So that's just it. That's just it. Me, I'm open. I've done a lot of, I've written several reviews, so don't have problem. All right, do have a great night rest. Thank you so much. Or if there's anybody have something, one other thing to say. Thank you, Mr. David.